The first tycoon, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Guys, as you can tell, I'm on the robber baron wave recently, reading about all those guys. Carnegie, Rockefeller, Jay Gould, Cornelius Vanderbilt. The next video I'll make will be on Jay Gould. I'm reading a book right now about him, The Dark Genius of Wall Street. And guys, these guys were the basically originators of business in America, right? Vanderbilt was really the first guy who, was able to build an empire in this country. There's so many lessons to be learned from him. He's an absolute savage, ruthless, a ruthless dude. And it's good to take the good things from him, but there's also some things about Vanderbilt that I'm going to read about right now that maybe aren't so great. And like he didn't have a great relationship with his family, right? So let's just go over this, guys. What we're doing here, by the way, just if you aren't aware, we are indoctrinating ourselves into becoming successful. Is that clear? We're all indoctrinated in one way or the other, right? You're indoctrinated by your school that you go to. You're indoctrinated by whatever you listen to, right? The information you take in. And like Rockefeller said, you must become a disciple of the gospel of success. So let's just get right into it, guys. The first tycoon, Vanderbilt, chapter 1, the Islander. All of his assets at his death were worth 1 out of every $20 in circulation. Guys, is that not insane to you? Right? That would be 5% of the entire money supply. All of his assets at his death were worth 5% of the entire money supply of the United States. Just incredible. Just the magnitude of that is insane. He cut fares against established lines until he forced his rivals to pay him to go away. Ruthless. A ruthless man. Vanderbilt wasn't in this for fun, right? He wanted total domination. He wanted a monopoly. And he did whatever it took, right? He pushed competitors away and he forced them to pay him to go away, right? They were so, scared of him that they're like, all right, let's just pay him off so that he doesn't bother us. Few laws had constrained him. Few governments exceeded his influence. One more time. Few laws had constrained him. Few governments exceeded his influence. And then this is going on Vanderbilt when he was young. His brother died young and he became the oldest, right? That really grew him up fast. He sought to be his own master. His life was regulated by self-imposed rules. Guys, this line rings so true for me, right? No one tells me to wake up at 4 a.m. No one tells me to go in the gym. No one tells me to eat clean. No one tells me to work my ass off every single day to get to where I want to go. That's self-imposed rules. See, the problem with a lot of people is that they need other people to impose rules in their life for them to do anything, right? And those people will lose. But if you can self-impose strict rules that you adhere to in your life, man, you'll become powerful. The richest men traded in cargoes. The speed of transportation determined the speed of information. Chapter 2, the duelist. Business affairs were one with law and politics, right? Business and law and politics are intermingled, guys, especially when we're at the top, right? I mean, just think about it. Like companies like Meta, Elon, like Tesla, right? Amazon. Guys, these companies are one and the same with politics, with the law, right? They are all intermingled. And that's how you know you're powerful. Competition was destructive, and it was robbing them of their due. Like Peter Thiel says, go for monopoly. Cold calculation marked his thinking. Vanderbilt saw every relationship as a business transaction. The possibility of failure never occurred to Vanderbilt. Chapter 3, A Tricky God. Progress marches with tragedy. New capacities breed new horrors. Vanderbilt tracked income and expenses boat by boat, month by month, right? He was so maniacal about tracking costs, guys, and so many of the greats are the same way, right? They're not focused on, how much money am I going to make, right? They're focused on how can we cut costs, right? That in turn makes you more money, but that should be the main focus. He was determined to have his own way to a greater extent than any man I ever saw. Isn't that what we want, guys? Isn't that why you're watching this video? Because you want to, have your own way? I am so determined in my life to have my own way. I don't like anyone to tell me what to do. Right? And once I realized that I had that character trait, and it was so powerful, I decided I would never let anyone tell me what to do again. You got to just make that decision. Have your own way to a greater extent than any man around you. A man may attain to almost anything with sufficient application. Vanderbilt saw people as assets. And then there was a story here about his steamboat exploding and how he was able to recover from that. He sorely wanted respect. He was not given to reflection. He was given not to reflection, but to movement. Chapter 4, Nemesis. Vanderbilt was transformed through a near-death experience. Boy, that fucking rang true to me, guys. If you've watched my stuff, my story, right? My near-death experience. And nothing's more powerful than that, right? Extreme physical pain. Because not only is it physical, it's mental as well, right? Are you going to give up? I remember when I was in the hospital bed. And I remember my parents being in the room. And I said, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to get past this, right? I don't know what I'm going to do. I felt totally hopeless. And then something dawned on me. What if I use this experience to totally transform my life, right? To erase everything that came before it, erase who I was, and start anew. It seems like Vanderbilt faced the same thing. It's quite funny how that works, guys. Currency. Currency was all that adjusts exchanges and settles balances in the operations of trade and business. He saw competition as a destructive force that punished entrepreneurship. Again, think about Peter Thiel, 0 to 1. Man, he emphasizes that so much. Go for monopoly. Vanderbilt's mind was on the pain he inflicted on his opponents. For Vanderbilt, guys, it wasn't about, success. It wasn't about achieving, great things. It was about destruction of his opponents. And for me, that's the same. I feel the same way. I want to destroy my opponents. I think about destruction. I don't think about, driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Who cares? Who cares about that shit? Think about destroying my competition. Competitors paid Vanderbilt to stay away. He never had a debt and never bought anything on credit. And then this is a quote from him. I think I have been spared. Oh, this is on his near-death experience, guys. Oh my God, this is so good. Listen to this. I think I have been spared to accomplish a great work that will last and remain. Right? I feel the same way. Like I've been called upon God, right? He spared me so that I could do incredible things in this world. Once you believe that, right, deep in your heart, it's just unstoppable, man. All right. He could not recollect a single instance of him admitting he was wrong. Oh, this was someone talking about Vanderbilt. They could not recollect a single instance of him admitting he was wrong. He was a stubborn dude. He was always censorious toward people who differed with him, right? He censored people, right? The dissenters. He never let them, really share their opinion with him. He just censored them. Giving a share to the other would make it in the interest of each to avoid competition. And this is talking about Vanderbilt and Daniel Drew. Vanderbilt played the game, guys. He played the game. If he had to compromise and work with someone, he did. But in the end, he still always got what he wanted, right? That compromise was still in his own self-interest. Sole control. He wanted power over what was done with his money, and he was making money more quickly than the smartest broker on Wall Street. As Vanderbilt thrived, the city thrived. Vanderbilt abstained from politics. And this was something that was interesting to me, guys. A lot of guys who, get rich, are super wealthy, they get involved in politics. But it says Vanderbilt abstained from politics, which is fascinating. That's a unique thing about him. He was unable to manage the murkier negotiations of love, affection, and fatherhood. This is talking about his relationship with his family, guys. He just didn't really have that empathetic part to him, that empathetic side. And it cost him his relationship with his family. He divided up routes, split profits, and punished those who violated the unwritten code, right? It's my way or the highway, essentially. That's what he's saying there. All right. He profited by keeping his operations and arrangements to himself. He didn't simply buy and sell at the right place, but also managed the terms, right? Again, my way or the highway. These are my terms. This is how the deal is going to work, right? Controlling the deal. He understood the magic of perceptions to shape the mood of the market. Share prices rested on what it cost to physically create the company, not how much it earned. Share prices rested on what it cost to physically create the company, not how much it earned. And that's very different to how things are nowadays, right? Everyone's focused on earnings. Back then, it was focused on what it cost to create the company, which was interesting to me. It just shows you the evolution over time of, our country and, the stock market and how people value businesses. Let's see. Corporations were an association between state and private interests for public purposes. Again, guys, all these big businesses, all these guys at the top were in bed with the government. He understood the emerging world far more than those who condescended to him. Right? Vanderbilt understood what was happening. He saw ahead. He saw the future. Right? He saw what was happening and took action on it. That's why he became so successful. Vanderbilt went down to Nicaragua, built a canal. That was a very interesting battle he had down there with, what's the guy's name? Walker. That was his name. And that was a very interesting story. I think there's another book written specifically on that. The name's not coming to mind right now. He signed an agreement with the government that granted him monopoly rights. Again, guys, screw the competition. We're going for monopoly, baby. Destruction. Destroy everyone in your path. And this is from Vanderbilt. One must influence the people who influence the government. God, that's good. Wow. And then I'll just leave you guys on this quote. This is only about half the book so far that I've gone over. I can go over the rest of it maybe in another episode, but this is a quote from from Vanderbilt, to end it for you guys. I'm willing to pledge my reputation, and I will make no such pledge unless I'm certain of its fulfillment. All right, guys. Cornelius Vanderbilt, first tycoon. This is how he got to the top. Read this book. Highly recommend. Read about all the robber barons, right? Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Jay Gould, Daniel Drew, Flagler, all these guys. So much to learn from them. And again, guys, just so we're clear what we're doing here, we are indoctrinating ourselves into becoming successful, right? I feel myself becoming, feeling more powerful every day, right? Because I'm flooding my mind with books about these guys who have really changed the world and who've really achieved massive things in the short time that they lived on this earth. And I just think that there's so much for us to do. There's not really any time to waste on frivolous things. I think that what gives me the edge, and there's probably some of you who feel this way too, is that I don't play around, ever. I don't like talking about things that aren't important. I don't like doing things that aren't important. I don't like small talk. I don't like wasting time. I like working and learning and pushing myself to the maximum extent, both physically and mentally. That's what this is about. This isn't for fun. This isn't for fun, guys. People are like, what do you do for fun? Fun? What do I do for fun? They think that I'm reading these books for fun. It's not. Yes, I enjoy reading them. I wouldn't read them if I didn't enjoy them, but no, it's not for fun. It's because I don't want to be the guy writing the biography. I want to be the guy that the biography is written about. All right, guys. Man, all right. Let's have a good day. Let's crush it. Monday morning, let's do some big things this week. My business is really taking off right now as well. And I'm just getting warmed up, guys. Just getting warmed up, baby. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. This is Blaze of Cyan signing off. See you in the next one. Bye.